Yes, my people. Yeah, man. Welcome to my channel, my people. Yeah, another day, another adventure. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Master Key. That is it, my people. Enough love and respect out there to everyone, my viewers and my subscribers. Yeah, man. Remember, my people, you know, can please share, like, and leave your comments. Yes, my people. And as I said, this is your Godfrey Osborne, my people. Yeah, man. So we're going to do a bit of reading from the Master Key. Not much, but a bit. Yeah, man. So, my people, stay tuned. And just a moment. Yeah, my people, just a moment. So stay tuned for the adventure, my people. We're there. Awesome. That is it. So, my people, yeah, man, we are start a mental equilibrium. We just are gonna make a little read through, you know, my peeps, that is it. But just want to give you a preview, that is it, my people. Yeah, man, enough love and respect to you all, my peeps, that is it. So, the Master Key, Chapter 1, Introduction, Mental Equilibrium, that is it, my people. Thought, our manner of thinking, and self-control, our mental discipline, are important factors in life's achievement. And these depend our power of concentration and the mental equilibrium that must be maintained by those who wish to advance. It lies within the earnest student to create a whirl of thought, wherein he may weather with calm fortitude the storm of mental life, for sorrows and disappointment pass no one by, and suffering is the loom in which character is made. That is it. Mind can be so powerful, a defensive arm in the battle of earthly existence, that in behalf of his interests and welfare, the student should learn to measure its force, understand its almost limitless power, and educate himself to employ judiciously. The student must learn to appreciate at its true value. The student must learn to appreciate at its true value. This force given to him, that he may be able to meet and conquer not only exterior difficulties, but even greater and more subtle enemies from within. Thought is a product of the mind, a mental vibration, and therefore a force which penetrates even into the physical body and worldly affairs of mankind. Worldly affairs of mankind. It is thoughts that slowly and unerringly builds up or tears down the whole moral fabrics of our being. Consciously or unconsciously, it acts upon everyone with whom you have near or remote contact. The great discoveries of science, the mechanical invention, the masterpiece in music and art, all these being achievement due to the patient and tireless effort of the intellect, but the result of concentrated thought. If your thinking is inspired by ideals, nourished by the practice of virtue and honesty, and submissive to a will that is sincerely direct it to its highest end. Come again, my people. No disrespect. If your thinking is inspired by high ideals, nourished by the practice of virtue, and honesty, and is submissive to a will that is sincerely directs it to its highest end. It will achieve moral, intellectual, and even material result of a positive character. As surely as sound seed planted in good soil will blossom and bear fruit following the natural law of its growth. Through the same certain process do evil result follow upon evil, sordid line of thoughts, and hence the employment of this faculty for unworthy ends in any circumstances is a disintegrating action. Yeah. Morally disastrous to the individual, even though the material or intellectual aim has been accomplished. Thought is a creative force, a fact that the student must always bear in mind. Every thought, be it good or evil, create corresponding condition. Therefore, however, a species of mental activity, if it may call, come again, Godfrey. No disrespect, my people. Long time I don't take up my book, But my people, this day, enough love and respect. Blessed love. All right. Thought is a creative force, a fact that the student must always bear in mind. Every thought, be it good or evil, creates corresponding condition. There is, however, a species of mental activity, if I may call it activity at all, which is akin to the flapping of canvas in the ill-trimmed soil of a vessel. It occupied some to the extent that they fancy they are thinking, but in reality they are floating aimlessly on the tide. Unless thought be employed for specific accomplishment and guided and controlled by its will, it follows the line of least resistance and spends itself in idle dreaming. This dissipation of a great force weaken our mental and moral, and even our physical faculties. It is in no wise different from the atrophy that follows upon non-use of our muscle in the work for which they were designed. If we can say that the human faculty, if we can say that any faculty of the human compound is more important than the faculties of thoughts, that one must be the will. It is the divine part of man. Our most elementary concept of a successful man or woman is the concept of a compelling force, a great urging towards a result, and this is will. And every one of us possesses in a greater or less degree this faculty as an essential constituent of our individuality. That is it. If we are to seek peace and moral strength in the highways of achievement, the will must focus on worthy aims. Our end must be work well done rather than selfish accomplishment for its own sake. When the human will is directed by truth, honesty, and confidence, man is guided and directed by an unerring vision of right And even though failure should await his effort, his whole moral nature has been strengthened by disinterested endeavor, and the way is prepared for some greater achievement with more telling result. Reason is the mentor of the will. Thoughts are its workmen. Reason plans the spiritual or material edifice. Will is the foreman who controls and directs, keeping order and industry in the rank of the workmen until the structure is complete. Thoughts, in other words, must be absolutely controlled. Thoughts, in other words, must be absolutely controlled by the will and direct by it into proper channel. With the larger part of humanity, thoughts like wayward, spoiled children run hither and thither seeking distraction and fear fields where no mental effort is required. The moment concentration demanded, and this is speaking generally, they rebel, scamper off, and only a firm grip can bring them back. At first they slunk, the mind remained inactive, and all that has been gained apparently is a restless obedience on their part, and a certain moral and mental strength, the result of persistent effort. But as thought was created subject to will, repeatedly and persistent effort on the part of this faculty reduced thought to docile and absolute obedience. Thank you. When you accomplish this anarchy, as being uprooted in the mental kingdom, a sensation of peace and strength is experienced in the re-establishment of order under the reign of reason and will. Infinite patience and untiring perseverance are important factors in the accomplishment of this result. The student of psychology and mental discipline must have no illusion concerning the arduous task that lies before him, and he must bring to it not only courage and the determination to conquer, but a vigilance that never sleeps. A few of today sufficiently realize the power of a thought, its danger, and its creative potency. The mind of average human beings run riot. The majority of people, even in this area of psychology and mental discipline, come again, my people, no disrespect, blessed love. Few of today sufficiently realize the power of a thought, its danger, and the creative potency. The mind of average human beings runs riot. The majority of people even in this area of psychology and mental culture take little thought of what and how they think. Action are regarded to be the prime object of consideration, and in their relation to established orders of things, they are learning only now that if they would influence their action with unquestioned certainty, they must cultivate the fields in which their action springs up and grow into actualities, and this field is the fields of thoughts. Many believe because their thoughts are their own and unknown to others, they imagine that they can harbor all sorts of unworthy sentiments and feelings so long as they do not actually allow these feelings to betray themselves in corresponding action. They do not realize that every bad mental habit indulge in against precepts of perfection not only inclines them to the act, but it lowers the ideal and weakens their moral nature and power of resistance. Yes, my people, it's a good look we're out here. Yeah, man, that is it. The Catholic Church recognizes how effective is thought in producing conditions, since she requires her children to confess their sins of thoughts and imposes penance for any deliberately evil intention. Evil thought the act was never committed. It follows then that our true nature and unworthy, come again. It follows then that our true worth or unworthiness lies in our manner of thinking. No matter how seemingly just or unjust we may outwardly appear, in the fortress of the mind alone is peace or unrest to be found. In this, the immutable law of compensation is made manifest. The man who possesses all that life has to offer, who seems calm, prosperous, and upon whom fate apparently smiles, may be in a tumult of interior unrest and dissatisfaction. His outer life appears well ordered, while inwardly he is unforgiving, grasping, and self-seeking. The apparently unfortunate being, on the contrary, who is generous, honest, and disinterested in his thoughts, no matter how great may be his suffering, his privation is unhappiness, possesses moral strength and clearness of vision, unknown to his prosperous brother. He has interior mental peace which gave content even in suffering. His life is pure at its fountainhead, which is his whirl of thought. And this clear lymph stream runs through it in acceptance, resignation, and the uplifting that comes from perfect harmony between thoughts and his action into such a life the whole world can gaze. Thoughts are as important and even more so than words. Thoughts are as important and even more so than words. Many are careful what they say, being fully alive to the disastrous or beneficent consequences of speech. It is equal important, therefore, to realize that although subtle and invisible in their effort, thoughts are more potent than words. Words can be so empty, so feeble, while thoughts is always vital. We can say things we neither think nor mean, and such words carry no weight. We must think things to feel them. Therefore, the result of wrong thinking are much more harmful to the individual than anything he can say. They also pass on to others in that subtle emanation which we call moral atmosphere as a strengthening or disturbing influence, sometimes vagally, sometimes vegally felt, sometimes imperceptible, but at all times positively active. We must guard our thinking with the same circumspection we apply to speech. And could we realize this fact that we must guard our thinking with the same circumspection we apply to speech? And could we realize this fact and think as directly as we choose our word, believing it to be of equal importance, we would greatly simplify the task of thought control. There would be fewer regret and anxious moments in life. A realization of what thought can accomplish will bend our energy towards learning how to employ this force in order to attain the result they were meant to accomplish when properly controlled. The discipline of the mind is hard and painful work, but its conquest more than compensate for a mental stress and earnestness it causes. Until mental control has restored order in the mind, the thoughts that one would then entrance to struggle, clamor, and batter on the door of the mind, while the thoughts that right reasons urges ones to entertain strain at the leash, seeking freedom, run where they will, and will give. Come again, Godfrey. Don't do me that. Until mental control has restored orders in the mind, the thoughts that one would then entrance to struggle, clamor, and batter at the door of the mind, while the thoughts that right reason urges one to entertain strain at the leash, seeking freedom to run where they will and give place to the discordant idle board that claims their habitual abiding place. The spectacular features of this choetic mental condition is that thought only become refractory when commanded, when free to sweep across the mind at will, and control and according to mood. Sorry, my people. Sure. The spectacular features of this choetic mental condition is that thought only becomes refractory when commanded, when free to sweep across the mind at will and according to mood. Its strength is not perceived. If your thoughts be gloomy, unkind, or bitter, the natural result is depression and bad temper. Should this mood persist, this discordant thoughts dwell peacefully and unmolested in the mind, here you have a vicious circle indulge in discordant thoughts, producing the mood, indulging the mood, keeping the mind filled with these weakening and depressing thoughts. Never lose sight of the fact that what you fear you attract, what you hope for and believe in you create. That is it. For mind is magnetic and attracts to itself whatever it frequently thinks about. It is fatal ever to partly with a thought one does not wish to entertain. Instantly it must be replaced by a concept, good and encouraging. Should the mind be filled with fear and dread unusual and founded of some impending danger, the picture should be reversed instantly. The mind forming an image of a happy, successful issue to the situation, even should the trend of your thinking be strongly and persistently in an evil vine. It seeming strength is fictitious and ill before a resolute, resolute act of the will. All right. I am here speaking not only of normal but undisciplined mind. Those suffering from neurasthenia, a disease in which the will is attracted, have neither the mental nor the moral force to expel ideas, which one of the symptoms are the motherly. Those same neurotenics, however, can be cured by being taught to watch and control. Taught practicing mental control for 1 minute at a time at first until to resort it authority becomes a habit of the mind. How common is it to see people worry about things that may never happen? Mental turning over situation that can be neither changed nor altered. This mental habit is demoralizing both body and soul, for such indulgence beget irritability and unrest. It weakens the nerves by being strained. This manner of thinking puts upon the whole nervous system. It is often necessary to entertain worrying, depressing, and sad thoughts if you are to know what strength and resource you must bring to bear upon it. You entertain such thoughts deliberately with the object of solving the problem, and such thinking is a deliberate act of the will. The introspection of normal and wholesome and is accompanied by exterior activities directed to restore happiness and peace of mind. When worries come and rob us of our loved one, it is human and natural to grieve. Nature demands within measure the outward expression of grief which relieves the burden heart, else sorrows eat within, and undermines the whole being. But in this legitimate indulge in grief, if instead of turning over in the mind, instead of turning over in our minds the way and wherefore of our bereavement, or of dwelling upon the void in our lives, we strive manfully to fulfill the simple duties of our situation in life, fixing the mind upon the task and the mental and moral strength acquires through keeping the thoughts where the mind and hand are working, would give courage to bravely bear affliction until time lays its healing hand upon our wounds. In the word of Jobert. In the words of Jobert. Hey, fever. That's in a language, Say, da you a hard and a attempts de console less malarious. Alright, my people, the word they fight we can't be sure, but You see, we can write it show. You see what we are dealing with people. How we you see me? How we can, yeah, explain it to people. All right. We have all known moments when we were beside by worrying thoughts being really did not wish to entertain. All right. We have all known moments when we were beside by worrying thoughts we really did not wish to entertain. Reason told us these thoughts were fruitless and depressing, and we knew full well they were demoralizing both to character and well-being. Notwithstanding this fact, we allow these thoughts to harass our mind, dislodging them only temporarily in seeking some exterior distractions that enable us to forget for the moment. This left them still master of the situation, for the distraction was but a weak surrender, not a firm and conquering act of the will. Prompt by the realization that such thoughts were useless and harmful. The will is the sole, sure guardian of the mind, and when will acts in harmony with reason, the mind is secure not only against these troublesome invaders. All right. The will is the soul, sure guardian of the mind, and when will acts in harmony with reason, the mind is secure not only against these troublesome invaders, but is free to concentrate itself upon what is good, productive, and useful. Furthermore, our happiness and peace of mind would not then be at the mercy of thoughts we do not wish to entertain and yet are powerless to banish them completely. Each student can prove to his own satisfaction that once having accomplished thought control, intellectual and moral qualities, and even material condition can be created by persistently holding the thoughts of that which one wish to achieve. That is it. By your manner of thinking, you can entirely change your feelings in regard to others and even help others to correct the faults that create your